alaikum. Upcoming class alert. Upcoming class alert. Yeah, you heard right. We got an upcoming class alert taught by Ustada Laila Nasheeba. So stay close, because listen, it's going to be good. This series is the series on the Jinn. Please, you're going to want to listen and take some notes. Streaming on all major platforms. Once again, taught by Ustada Laila Nasheeba. Streaming on all major platforms. Channel SunnahFollowers.
Okay, so we're going to speak about the antics that Shaitan uses to take us away from Allah. And we're going to start off with this one here, which is Allah tells us in the Quran, and I want all you new shahadas to pay attention, because I've never had such a problem before with new shahadas that can't or don't want to let go of that marijuana. Smoking marijuana is haram. There's no such thing as medical marijuana either. Remember, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said there is no cure. Allah has not put a cure in anything that he made haram. So if your doctor prescribes medical marijuana for you, it's not to cure your sickness. He's doing it to get you high, because when you're high, your mind doesn't think about the pain. Okay, so that medical marijuana does not take away your migraine headaches. That's one of the sisters here. One of the sisters asked me, can she continue with her medical marijuana because it for her migraine headaches? I told her that medical marijuana is not curing you of no migraine headaches. It's not even taking the pain away. It's making you sleepy. It's making you high so you can go to sleep. She said, yeah. And it's making you overeat. That's why you fat, because she's talked about how she's gaining weight. All that daggone marijuana. Listen to what Allah says in the interpretation, the meaning. O you who believe, strong drink and games of chance and idols and divining arrows are only an infamy of Shaitan's handiwork. Leave it alone so that you may succeed. Shaitan only seeks to cast amongst you enmity and hatred by the means of alcohol and games of chance, and to turn you away from the remembrance of Allah and his worship. So here you can see Allah is he's clearly telling us that anything that intoxicates, anything that befogs the brain, as our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, and also Umar radiallahu anha, he told the companions, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, anything that befogs the brain is an intoxicant. So marijuana befogs your brain. It's an intoxicant. It's considered an intoxicant. Okay, it makes you high. Nicotine is an intoxicant. That's why cigarettes are haram. It's that high, that nicotine high that you're chasing. So anything that intoxicates the brain is forbidden for us as Muslims. And also games of chance. What's an example of a game of chance? A game in which entails gambling. That's why we cannot play the lottery. As one of the new shahadas says, Sister Laila, why come I can't play the lottery? Well, because Allah said so. It's a game of chance. Okay? Also idols. Idols refers to anything that you worship besides Allah. Believe it or not, some of us worship our children. Some of us worship our wives, our husbands. Some of us worship ourselves. Some of us worship celebrities. Anything that you worship besides Allah is forbidden for you. And when we talk about the divining arrows, this is actions of superstition. You know, you're not going to go on a trip unless you throw a spear. And if the spear comes down right, then you'll go. Or you're going to flip a coin. Let's flip a coin to see if I should go on this trip or not. That's superstition. All of this stuff is haram. And shaitan, you know, your personal jinn, he knows the nature of the human. Allah tells us in the Quran that our nature, he created the human to be criminal and pessimistic by nature. It's our nature to be pessimistic, as Ibn Masud, may Allah be pleased with him, said in an authentic hadith. What's the source? Bukhari and Muslim. He said the human is pessimistic by nature. We have to fight to overcome pessimism. That's superstition. So our personal jinn, he knows our strengths. He knows that you're a person that's superstitious. He knows that you're a person that wants an easy, quick way to earn money. So you like to play the lottery. So he's going to push you to do those things. He knows that you like to escape reality by getting high. He knows that you like to get high and just live your life in a stupor. So he's going to use these things against you, you know, to get you away from Allah and closer to him so you can be his companion in the hellfire. Alcohol, intoxicants, you're not even aware of what you're doing when you high, when you're drunk. You don't remember what you say, or you may act in a way that you normally don't, okay? Islam is a way of life based on dignity and humility and balance. How can you be dignified? How can you be a person of humility and balance if you're intoxicated? So you guys are going to have to put those cigarettes, put that marijuana, that alcohol, crack, crank, whatever you want, put it down. And also gambling, because gambling is a disease like alcohol. It's addictive. You end up making it your God. You want to keep playing the lottery because you hit for $50. Now you want to try it again and see if you can get 100, see if you can get 1,000. You'll waste all your money searching after that easy fix of money. So shaitan, your personal jinn, uses all of that against you. Okay? And gambling leads to lying. You'll lie to your family, lie to yourself, you know, squander the money away, chasing after a dream. And again, a lot of you ask me, Sister Laila, why is it that I have to take the pictures that I have of my children off the wall in my house? Why is it that I can't put my wedding pictures on display? Well, the reason is simple. Your personal jinn will cause you to make those pictures of your loved ones objects of worship. You'll look at those pictures and brag and boast about your husband and how happy y'all are. You had the best marriage. Then when you and your husband go through problems, you end up in the divorced. You can't move on. Why come you can't move on? Because you're sitting there holding those pictures in your hands, remembering the past and not accepting the qadr of Allah. Or say one of your children get in an accident, you know, something happens to it. You can't accept the qadr of Allah because you're remembering how this child was back on this day when you did that. So again, guys, you know, statues, pictures of people, your animals. I have pictures of all my cats, but they are on a computer. And I can't look at them because my cats all died of old age. And if I see a picture of my Sammy, who just died last year, it'll make me not accept the Carter. It'll make me wish he was here. It'll make me think about how he used to cuddle with me, how whenever I came home from work, he was there at the door to greet me. He was waiting for me in the window. You know, we have to move on with life and accept the Carter, the decree of Allah. So your personal jinn who knows your strengths, he knows your weaknesses, he will use those pictures of your loved ones against you. So that's why in Islam, we don't put pictures of human beings and animals on display. So if something happens to them, we'll find it easier to accept the Qadr of Allah and keep it moving. Put your pictures in a book and put the book in a drawer somewhere. Okay? And remember, most people are led astray because of pictures and statues. I want y'all to remember, before Noah, all mankind were upon the correct belief system until the generation of Noah. Noah's generation was a generation that began to commit shirk. 3 righteous men died, and Iblis whispered to the people to build statues to remember them. And then Iblis came and said, go to the statues and talk to them. Then he came again and said, now start cooking food for them and feeding them. And that's how shirk began, with the generation of Noah, alayhi salam. So as human beings, we're easily duped into not accepting the decree of Allah. I look at some of you, my new shahadas. You have relatives in your family who have died. And I ask, you have them on your Facebook page. So I ask you, wow, your mother just died? Your father just died? Oh no, my mother's been dead for 10 years. My father's been dead for 10 years, but I just can't get over it. Of course you can't get over it. You're still harboring those pictures. Take those pictures off your Facebook page. Get those pictures of your deceased relatives out of your house. Put them in a drawer somewhere. Stop looking at them. Because every time you look at it, your personal jinn is going to inspire you to commit shirk, to commit disbelief, to refuse to accept the lordship of Allah, which is his decree. Listen to what Abraham, may Allah be pleased with him. I think this is Abraham. Did I put this one here? I can't remember. Let me look at this because I was caught up. Yeah, Abraham. This is in Surah Ibrahim. Listen to what Ibrahim alayhi salam said to his Lord. He said, oh Allah, keep me and my sons away from worshiping idols. My Lord, those idols have led many of mankind astray. You know, and that's why Allah protected Abraham alayhi salam and his offspring. Because he made dua asking Allah to keep his offspring free of worshiping idols and not accepting Allah's decree. And we have so many innovations today. You know, you go to some of the Muslim countries now, and you will find tombs that they set up of tombs of the unknown soldier. And they'll say that these tombs represent a soldier who was killed and in a battle, died as a martyr in jihad or something. And they'll honor it with presents and flowers and all of that stuff. And, you know, this is haram. So even in the Muslim lands, you see a lot of worshiping of idols. We have to stay away from that. Shaitan will tempt you with alcohol, intoxicants, superstitious beliefs, and all of that. And again, the gambling. I want you guys to understand that when it comes to superstition, it's the nature of the human being to want to know what's going to happen tomorrow. It's part of our nature. Remember, the human soul is criminal. It's attracted to that which it doesn't know, which may be bad for it. But no one can tell you the future or predict what's going to happen tomorrow except Allah. And that's why the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught us to make istikhara. What is istikhara? It's a supplication in which we ask Allah to guide us when it comes to choosing whether or not we should do something. And we're asking Allah, if the choice I make was a bad choice for me and my deen, then give me the ability to walk away from it when I need to walk away from it and not harbor it, okay, and make it a God to me. So as Muslims, we don't go around looking for an omen or looking for a clover, or looking for carrying a rabbit's foot. I have a couple of new shahadas here who asked me about a rabbit's foot. I said, I didn't know what the rabbit's foot was for. I said, what is a rabbit's foot? They said, we carry it for good luck. Astaghfirullah. As Muslims, we don't believe in luck. We believe in Allah's decree. Everything good and everything bad happens because Allah willed it. So believing in luck invalidates your shahada. And I had to explain that to these new shahadas. Get rid of that rabbit's foot. If Allah has decreed for something to happen, there's nothing you can do to stop it. It's going to happen. Okay? Attempting to know the future with rabbit's foot, divining arrows, fortune tellers, or any of that can invalidate your belief in Allah. So again, we stay away from that. But your personal jinn knows that that's all of our weakness. We all wish we knew what was going to happen to us tomorrow. We all wish we knew if I'd ever be married, if I'll ever have any other children. Will I ever find a man that loves me? Well, this man that I think I love, will he ever accept me and learn me? You know, we wish we could find a shortcut. But there are no shortcuts, guys. We do istikhara. We ask Allah to guide us and give us the ability to accept his decree, whatever it is. Okay? Also, another thing that Shaitan uses against us is magic. Magic does exist. Anybody who thinks magic does not exist is crazy. It does exist. Allah allowed a magician to do magic on the prophet just to prove that it existed. But the magic didn't last but for a short time. But Allah allowed it to happen just to show, so the people could see that magic does indeed exist. Okay? We have a verse in the Quran where Allah speaks about how the devils, they accused Solomon, alayhi salam, King Solomon, of being a magician. And they also lied on the twins, the two angels, Harut and Marut. Listen to what Allah says in the interpretation, the meaning. And they followed that which the devils falsely related against the King Solomon. Solomon did not disbelieve in Allah, but the devils disbelieved. They're the ones that taught mankind magic. And they're the ones that taught what was revealed to the two angels. Those two angels did not teach it to anyone. Okay? They simply said, we are just a temptation. So again, guys, magic does exist. The jinns use magic. As we talked about, Shaitan, he's not capable. He's not capable of miracles, but he's a master trickster. The jinn are tricksters. They twist the truth and mix it with lies, like they did these two angels. Allah sent those two angels to teach the people how to live together as husband and wife. Because after Allah had destroyed the people of Sodom, he sent those two angels, Harut and Marut, to teach the people how to live together in marriage as husband and wife, not husband and wife and wife. But what the jinns did, they took on the appearance of humans, like the jinns can do, and they made magic. They took the teachings of those two angels, made food out of it, magic out of it, and told the people, say this and drink this, and this will make this woman love you. Say this or drink this, it'll make this man never leave you. And they claim they learned this magic from those angels when they did not. So magic does exist. To this day, we have fortune tellers. To this day, we have soothsayers. To this day, we have tarot card readers. All of that is haram, guys. We have to stay away from that. Psychics, astrology, zodiac signs. You looking for the perfect man. What's your sign? Pisces. Oh, alhamdulillah, I'm a Cancer. We're mates. Astaghfirullah. We don't do that. So stay away from astrology too. Stay away from that zodiac sign. Okay? Stay away from psychics and all of that. And here's another trick or another tool that the jinn use, especially for my young brothers here. I want y'all to listen, like Brother Amir. He's very handsome. The allies of Shaitan will use the women of this world to take you out. And also, he'll cause you to fall in love with the life of this world more than Allah. And before our prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, died, he said, you know, everybody has a weakness. We women, we have a weakness. What's our weakness? PMS. Allah is just when he created us. We women suffer with PMS, okay? Our emotions go up and down, up and down. Even when, I'm going to tell you women, it never goes away. Even after you're past menses, when you're going through menopause, boy, your PMS is still there. It never goes away. Your emotions are all over the place depending on the time of month. Well, just like we women, our weakness is our emotions. Men have a weakness too. Their weakness is their lust, their lustful desire, their lustful desire for sex. That's their weakness. And before the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam died, he said that the greatest fitna that will be left on this earth until the end of time for all men is women. Your love for women. Because men have a hard time mastering control over their lust. And this is why Allah, another reason why Allah has ordered us Muslim women to cover our bodies, because we are a temptation for men. Men cannot resist looking at a big butt. Come on, sisters, y'all know that. A man cannot resist looking at some breasts hanging out. Okay? Some men like thighs. Some men like legs. You can be the ugliest woman on earth. Your face can be totally scarred up. You can have a kickstand as a face. But some brothers, it's all about that back, about that back, about that back. No treble. That's why some brothers are. It's all about that bass. It's all about that bass. Then some brothers don't care about the bass. They want the treble. Some brothers say, keep the bass, keep the treble, give me the flute. They like that leg. So this is why you new shahadas, you need to cover your behinds up. It's for your protection. Allah has commanded the believing woman to cover up for her protection. Because when a man is attracted to you, that lust takes over, and some men go crazy. They lose their mind. All they want is to satisfy that lust, to get a hold of that base. All right? Listen to what this hadith here. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said the woman is to be concealed. And when she goes out, Shaitan makes her look beautiful to the men who look at her. So this is why we cover our bodies up. If your body is not covered, you know, you're opening the door to a lot of problems. And that's why I'm telling you young brothers need to attach yourselves to the masjid. You young brothers need to stay away from places where women congregate. For example, I got some Muslims here, new shahadas. One of them is my cousin too, who live in Miami, Florida. They say that the women walk around naked, the men too. The women and men walk around basically naked in Miami. You young brothers, stay away from the beaches. What are you doing at a beach? Unless you can find a beach secluded away from other people, what are you doing at a beach where you looking at all these women walking around naked? Okay? Allah says don't go near that which can tempt you to commit sin. Okay? Everybody's trying to be Nicki Minaj. Everybody's trying to be the Cardi B. Everybody's trying to be one of the Kardashians. The women walk around naked. We even got pregnant women now. It used to be the time that women were modest. Even when a woman is pregnant, they walking around like Rihanna with their stomach out. I think that's so disgusting to see a pregnant woman walking around naked with all her belly hanging out and her big oversized thighs and her breast. That's supposed to be attractive. So you young brothers, you need to attach yourselves to the masajids. And you need to be consistent in learning this deen, because your personal jinn, he will cause you to find the most corrupt woman appealing just to take you away. And by the way, let me share this with you guys. About an hour before class, I got a phone call. One of the sisters here, the new shahadas, she said that one of her sons came complaining to her about how he was having a hard time using the bathroom. Her son is 14 years old. She didn't think nothing of it. She said, okay, I'll make you an appointment. She took him to urgent care because he said he couldn't wait for no appointment. Well, come to find out, her son has gonorrhea. I said, gonorrhea? Does that still exist? She said, yeah, it exists. She didn't even know that her 14-year-old son was having sexual relations. He's having sexual relations with some girl that lives next door to him. And whoever this young girl is, she's younger than him. So his mother says she got to be around 12 or 13. This 12 or 13-year-old girl gave him gonorrhea. My God, what is a 12-year-old girl doing with gonorrhea? My God, look at what we're doing. So, you know, you young brothers, you got to be careful, because Shaitan will tempt you to commit sin, to give in to your desires, and you'll come back burnt like that 14-year-old boy is from gonorrhea, which I didn't know still existed, because I'm Muslim and I don't hear about it. I ain't heard about gonorrhea in so long, you know. But subhanAllah, that's one of the signs of the last hour too. Old diseases are coming back into play. So you brothers, think about that, brother Amir, and you young brothers, when these kafir girls, because this guy was Muslim, but the girl he was messing with wasn't, and she 12 or 13, who she been with that burnt her? Okay? Don't fall for the shenanigans of these kafir women, because these Kafir women are not clean. Y'all understand that? We got some Muslim women that ain't clean. If we got some Muslim women that ain't clean, what does that say about Kafir women? So you brothers be careful poking around, because you're going to poke around to something that's going to burn you bad. Okay? So women and the love of the life of this world are two other mechanisms that Shaitan uses to take us away from Allah. He'll have you caught up in playing Xbox, caught up in playing, going to the beach, hanging out at the beach instead of being at the mosque, instead of learning your religion. Remember, guys, love for this world is the root of every sin. It leads to murder. It leads to wasting of money. It leads to exploitation. It leads to cutting off family ties and all of that. Get your priorities together. For you Muslim brothers, your reward is in the mosque. For you Muslim women, you should be at home in your houses, just like Laila Nasheeba. I don't go nowhere hardly. Okay? Ain't nothing out there but gonorrhea from a 12-year-old. All right. And also, here's another big one. This is another antic that Shaitan uses. And I want everybody to pay attention. Kids too. Singing and music. Now, it's not haram to sing. It's not haram to sing. One of the delights for the men of this world is when they enter paradise, their wives amongst the Hureen will sing to them. Okay? Singing is not haram. But singing for money, singing as a profession, now we got a different thing. I can sing to my husband. I have a sister, Sister Geechee. Sister Geechee makes the jingles on my website. But she's making those jingles fi-sabilillah. She's not doing it for pay. You don't know who she is. You don't see her. Ain't no music or instruments, and that's just her voice. And all she's singing about is Islam. Just like when the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam migrated to Medina. What was he greeted with? The women and children, they sang to him to welcome him. What my Geechee is doing for my jingles to try to get you guys to come here to learn is no different than what those women did to welcome the Prophet as their leader, as their ambassador of Allah. So singing is not haram in and of itself. But if you're going to make a career, you want to be the new Nicki Minaj. You want to be like those sisters in Brooklyn, New York. Oh, yeah, we got these women, Muslim women singers, rap artists, and all that crump stuff in New York. You know, Shaitan uses that. That's haram. We women are not supposed to beautify our voices publicly like that. Okay? We can't do that. Remember, the woman's voice is not an aura. Okay? It's not part of her nakedness. But Allah says when we speak publicly, you know, we have to be intimidating with our voice and strong. And by the way, Geechee ain't speaking publicly. She makes jingles for my about Allah's religion here. So that's not the same. There's always exceptions. But to be a singer is haram. And everyone knows music is haram. There's a hadith where the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and what's the source? Sahih Muslim. The Prophet said musical instruments are the handiwork of Shaitan. Okay, Shaitan uses music and singing to take you away from Allah. Your personal jinn plays upon your emotions. He knows that you're sad because your husband divorced you. So he's going to make you listen to Mariah Carey as she cried about how she lost her man and how she wished her man was back. And that's going to, again, make you not want to accept the qadr of Allah. Your personal jinn knows that you lonely. See, you ain't getting none of that from Geechee's song. Geechee's songs, her singing is come to the class at 6:30 and learn how to protect yourself from shaitan. That's her class. That's her singing. Okay? But your jinn knows that you lonely, that you wish you had a man. So he's going to have you listen to a J-Lo or Britney. It's Britney, baby. So shaitan, your personal jinn, uses music and the singing, again, to take you away from Allah. And as Ibn Qayyim, may Allah be pleased with him, he was one of the students of Ibn Taymiyyah, one of the early scholars. He wrote a treatise on music and singing, and he listed the following as dangers of music. He said, number one, it's useless. It's useless amusement. Number two, it's just nonsense. It's false speech. It can lead to adultery. It's what shaitan uses to take you away from remembering Allah. Music, it can also be used to plant hypocrisy in the heart. It can sound foolish, and it can lead to you committing sin. So, these are some of the things that we have to be aware of as Muslims, the tools that Iblis and our personal jinn will use to take us away from Allah.